This is the routine weekly briefing for Central North Carolina covering the period Thursday, July 10th to Wednesday, July 16th, 2025. As we take a look, we have widespread showers and thunderstorms over much of the next 7 days with less coverage on Saturday and Sunday, but otherwise we do have a chance of showers and thunderstorms throughout the forecast period. We are expecting the temperature should be seasonable with highs around 90 and lows around 70 through the next 7 days. As we take a look at our severe thunderstorm potential over the next 8 days, we have a marginal risk, a level 1 risk for severe thunderstorms both today and tomorrow. The primary threats for that severe thunderstorm potential will be damaging winds that will end up going on. And then on Saturday, we are under a general thunderstorm risk. As we take a look at the accumulated precipitation forecasts through the next 5 days, we can end up seeing some of those darker greens and blues across the area today. As you look at that scale on to the right of that image, the darker greens are 1/4 to 1/2 inch. Anything in blue is going to be at least 1/2 inch in the forecast. Again, you can end up seeing a decent amount of coverage Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday with at least some rain in the forecast everywhere. And if you look in the lower right-hand corner, you can see the 5-day total. Again, a lot of the darker blues starting to get into some purples, which is at least 1.5 inches. Of course, if we do end up having any thunderstorms, the heaviest rainfall from any given thunderstorm is not explicitly going to be in this forecast. If we end up taking a look at what the soil moisture is going on, this is from one of the briefings that the Midnight Forecaster ended up doing that went out to our partners. The ground remains saturated from the heavy rainfall that fell yesterday and on Sunday from Chantal as well. So the areas highlighted in the green and the blue are the locations where soils are especially sensitive to additional rainfall and would produce flash flood conditions quicker than typical. Certainly, as always, urban and poor drainage areas will also be susceptible to flash flooding, but we haven't had nearly as much rain along and east of the I-95 corridor, which is why you end up seeing those brown and yellow colors in there. That being said, we do have a flood watch in effect for our entire forecast area through at least 2 a.m. Friday. And at this point, we do have some areas across the east where that flood watch goes a little bit later till 5 a.m. in the morning. Certainly, considering that last image, locations to the west are going to be more susceptible, but we do have enough of a threat of excessive rainfall that we do have the flood watch in effect for our entire area into the early morning hours. Looking at the excessive rainfall outlook, again, those higher threats in the yellow are going to be across most of the area to the west of Interstate 95. As we take a look at Friday and Saturday, there's a marginal risk of flash flooding both of those days across the entire forecast area. Taking a look at the heat risk, not as high as we have ended up seeing over the last couple of weeks. Again, not really that much of a threat as we end up looking in the triad today. That threat increases a little bit in the triad over the next 2 days. But again, we are looking at minor to moderate risk of heat-related impacts across most of our forecast area. Again, individuals extremely sensitive to heat, most individuals sensitive to heat across the south and the east tomorrow and Saturday. I'm sure everybody is very pleased to end up seeing this slide, that there is no tropical cyclone activity expected during the next 7 days. The drought update, you can see that there has been a 0.17% increase in coverage across the state. You can just see some little tiny areas to the south and east of Charlotte that are kind of barely showing up on this map. These line up with some areas that are larger in South Carolina. The drought monitor doesn't stop right at the state line, so yes, some of those areas from South Carolina are extending slightly into North Carolina. As we take a look at the 8 to 14-day temperature and precipitation outlook, the entire state of North Carolina is expected to have near normal temperatures. As we take a look at the precipitation, anywhere from 33 to a 40% chance of above normal precipitation. And those normal temperatures are pretty steady as we're in July. So looking at upper 80s and lower 90s for our normal highs, and our normal lows are in the low 70s. Taking a look at the experimental graphical hazardous weather outlook, again, have already covered most of this, but to recap, the severe thunderstorm threat is there today and tomorrow, specifically for thunderstorm winds. There is a higher chance of lightning today, but again, we do have a chance of thunderstorms every day somewhere in the forecast area in the next 7 days. I showed you the excessive rainfall graphics for today, tomorrow, and Saturday. Didn't show you the graphics for Sunday and Monday, but maybe about the western third is in a marginal risk on Monday. And then there is somewhere that there is an extreme heat threat through the next 7 days. Again, our weather summary overall, widespread showers and thunderstorms through much of the next 7 days with less coverage on Saturday and Sunday, and generally seasonable temperatures with highs around 90 and lows around 70. As we take a look at our hazards and impacts, we have a flood watch today and a marginal to slight risk of excessive rainfall today. A marginal risk of excessive rainfall continues Friday and Saturday. And we're also looking at a marginal risk of severe thunderstorms today and Friday.